I'll start yours as well, innit? Cool. Alright, start by saying Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. So, just gonna start off. You got anything in mind?
Yeah. Amos 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord, the Most High Power, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh. So yeah, the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, they're on the sinful kingdom, man, and that's where we are presently, man. Esau's rulership, this is the sinful kingdom, and it's evident. You can see how it's playing out before your eyes. What's going on within this system? Nothing but corruption, decay, destruction, all kinds of degeneracy is what's promoted. These things are what are exalted in the society. Why? Because everything's backwards. Everything's completely out of course. Everything's been flipped upside down, and that's it. That's all in Esau's spirit, man. This is the kind of man that he is, man. This guy his spirit's not upright, and that's why it's like his kingdom, him allowed to push out in his spirit to the absolute limit. This is what you get. Nothing but a sinful kingdom. But what? The angels, the eyes of the Most High Power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, they're upon this place. They're watching, witnessing, and what? The sins are being tallied. You know? And hey, it's the judgment is going to be laid out. Because there's what as well. I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. Because why? When it comes to the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, who are the Israelites according to the Bible, right now they're in a destroyed state. By and large, the majority of Jake are still in they're still in that dead state, man, completely devoid of understanding. And 2/3 of them are not going to come out of that. But what? Through the elect are going to be woken up, man. 144,000, 1/3. They're going to be woken up. They're basically being resuscitated, man. That word has been has been given to them. And it's that breath, and it's what, you know, the bones, the meat, the skin, everything else, all is being put back on them dry bones and being brought back to life. So it says what? For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Yeah, so you got Israel scattered, and that's something you can go back to. What's it called? Deuteronomy 28 says that in the scriptures. Verse 64 says what? They'll be scattered among all nations, and they'll worship wood and stone. That's what you got Jake out here worshiping all forms of wood and stone, man. The main god that Jake are worshiping out here is Esau, man. Esau's the main man that Jake are looking up to, and that can come in the form of Cesare Borgia or just his sister, man. You got a lot of Jake that are just basically invested in Esau's monetary system. All they thinking about is dollars and pound notes and making money in a certain kind of lifestyle that's promoted. But what? Them guys are gonna be, those are gonna be sieved out, man. They're gonna be left. They're gonna get judged, man, amongst amongst the heathen as well. And what? The elect, they're the ones that are gonna be caught. Not a single one of the elect is gonna be lost. So it says, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Yeah, all the sinners are going to be judged, man. Because that's the system Esau's got is a system built on the sin, basically the evil will not overtake or prevent them. That's how Esau's operated from the jump. Like how's Esau got it, man? It's what the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. That's what Esau's done. Steal, kill, destroy. That's how he got everything. And it's centuries of stealing, killing, and theft compounded. That's why you go into museums. Why have you got museum sections from all over the earth? Different historical periods, different rulerships. You got a fucking corpse or some shit of some motherfucker from one whole other thousands of miles away. That's because why? These guys, Esau's history is what? Going around grabbing these things up. But what? The judgment's going to catch him, just like the 2/3. are gonna get judged. Esau's gonna get judged as well. You got anything? No. But it says what? In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. Yeah, the tabernacle of David, the house of David, that's going to be built back up. You go back to the time of David. It was what? When Jake was. It was the northern kingdom. It was split to the northern kingdom and southern kingdom afterwards. But you had like Ephraim on down and Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, all linked up. That's the 12 tribes all together as one, and that's something that was split. And since then, it's that they've basically not been put back together. To this day, now they're coming back together in this truth. But before then, it's that split had been for a real long time, man. And it's what through the Spirit that it's being mended back together, because that's that house of David, man. And that's what Yahushua was set up, came through that line, which is the significance of what Matthew 1 having the lineage. Because why? Yahushua was like the heir of the heir, basically was the one set up, prophesied of to fulfill, basically to bring Israel back to the Lord. So, and that's in that house. So that's why everything's going to be done in the house of David, because that's what was promised to David as well. So these are things that they've been set up for thousands of years, and now it's coming to pass. And that's
before the foundations of the earth, even.
Before the foundations of the earth, these things were set, and it's now being built back up, which is why, and that's why it's onto the elites that these guys know. They know what that entails, because these prophecies have gone into them. They know what it entails. That's why it fills them with terror, with dread, when they see the men of the Lord on the streets teaching the word. Because why? It's terrifying. By and large, as far as it seemed, he was getting away with rape, robbery, and murder, man. This guy was thinking, yo, it's done, it's a wrap. But then what? From the 70s, from when he set his nest among the stars, shot up into space, sent Buzz Aldrin, these guys into the heavens. Then Esau's system's been coming down, and that's been compounded. It's been recognized, it's known. That's why everyone's talking about, oh, China's gonna raise up. That's why all of a sudden all the dirt that America's done historically has been coming out. This is even going back to the times of slavery, man, of captivity. Going back to when Americas was set up, all these things are coming out, man. All the lies Esau's basically used to build up his image. So he's trying to make himself the angel of light. But what? These things are being exposed. Let me read this. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. It says what? Daughter of the Chaldeans. That's how you know it's virgin daughter of Babylon. It's not talking about ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon's done. Ain't no one to who or what is talking about ancient Babylon, man. You go back to what was it, 2003 or 4, the invasion of Iran. Where was ancient Babylon then? Where was Nebuchadnezzar to come and and defend his land? That's them times are done, man. It's talking about now the virgin daughter, which is talking about America, man. You go to Revelation 11:8. Or is it 11:8? I'm thinking of where it says spirit of Sodom and Egypt, man. That's it's basically a reincarnation. It's a rebirth, bringing back that same energy of all those ancient kingdoms, because that's what Esau upholds. Esau goes back to those ancient wicked energies to run and operate his system. It says what? It says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. Yeah, nakedness is being uncovered. Esau's nakedness has been uncovered, man. With like us being on the streets, exposing even these so-called white people being revealed to be Esau. That's a big deal, because when you attach the identity of Esau, the border of wickedness, then you start to understand how it all plays out in prophecy. Because then that's how you understand the times at the end.
Quick precept.
You got one.
Yeah, Obadiah 1:6. How were the things that Esau searched out? How are the hid things sorted up? And then that's it. Basically, it's the time. Because going into the book of Thessalonians, Paul basically mentioned of the end basically not coming unless they come a falling away first, and as man of sin.
I was gonna get that anyway.
You got it ready?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that man
Got
of
it
sin
down.
be revealed.
I'll read
So
that
it's the season. 'Tis the season for him to be revealed basically, and for him to be known to the world. All right, and that's why he's being sought out. See, back then in the time of the Romans, it weren't known. All right, everyone weren't looking at the Romans back then, the Caesars and everything, and saying, "Oh, that's the Edomites and everything." They were, as far as they were concerned, they were Greeks and Romans. All right, but in this day today, all right, because you even can refer to the book of Maccabees. It tells you that they spoke of the Romans, how they were valiant, how they took many the silver and gold mines of Spain, but they didn't refer to them as Edomites. They referred to them as Romans. All right, but in this time now, it's well understood that wait, these men are Edomites. All right, and no matter where they are, all right, and even so much so that we have it through the Spirit, the unction, from the Holy One to know all things. That it's not down to color, all right? That in they old you would have said, "Oh, that man's an Edomite," because we know it's through the Spirit, all right? Even back then, you would have known by lineage anyway. But at the end of the day, now in this time, it's like it's been revealed where there's no way he can hide. You can't have someone be dark skinned like Tar, and basically say, "No, I'm one of you guys," but it's like, no, you're an Edomite, all right? If the Spirit's an Edomite, the Spirit's an Edomite, okay? And that's being revealed right now. And that's why Esau now is doing everything, running every which way to basically disguise his acts and who he truly is.
Yeah. Read this. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Yeah, Esau had to be revealed, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Yeah, so that's, and you can see that's what Esau's done. Mainly with the main way he's done that is what, pasting his image over Yahweh Shai, because that's you go back to the what's it called, the
Renaissance?
Yeah, Renaissance, that's the word. You go back to the Renaissance, and then what? You had Esau basically painting over all the images, all the men of the scriptures as Edomites. Because why? He knew the power of images, and that basically let him put himself in that position. It's fulfilling prophecy. Was it Job 9:24? And what? This guy is basically trying to set himself up in the position of the Most High. That's by what the schemes, the planning this guy's done, man. These elites have done, where they've got basically everyone in the mindset where they're looking to bow down to and reverence Esau's system, man. And really, these elites at the top of that system, but right now everyone's just looking at and deifying like the American government, the American system, the European governments, Esau's power, Esau's military might. These are the things that people are in their mind honoring and worshiping, man. But what all that, this we're in a time where the truth of that, all the lies and whatnot Esau's done, how is the acts he's done to get these things, it's been revealed. So even if you go to just the invasion of Iraq, there was blowback against that the whole time. All kinds of criminal shit that was done was exposed. Esau, the dirt's coming out, man. Going back even before with like the Tuskegee trials, all kinds of vile acts Esau's done. These things have been exposed. So me go back in Isaiah 47. It says 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Yeah, that's when Yahushua makes his return. As it says in Acts, this man, just as you see him going, so shall he come. With the clouds, man, with the chariots of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which are going to come and absolutely raise this, America off, along with the missiles. And they're going to do war with Esau's, everyone in the world is going to come together, basically to war against Yahweh Shai, and they're going to get annihilated, man.
On that point, that's kind of just reminded me, because I'm looking to do a video on it. Russell Brand, you know, he's turned into a shill or conspiracy theorist, whatever. But basically, he's got a video saying the Pentagon come out and said that UFOs exist, but he said, but why are they saying it now? So basically, he's saying like in the video, he was more or less saying like, look, you know, imagine that all this time now, they've been saying that, you know, you're wearing a tinfoil hat for like basically saying that UFOs exist and all that type of stuff. But it's come out now that the government over there in Washington has basically said, look, they do exist. But he said, but why are they saying it? All right? And it's basically, he was saying it like, now this makes it, he's saying before it served them favorably not to let it be revealed onto everyone because the division of the people. And more to the point, and I agree with what he's saying, because it's like Esau cemented himself as the guy among the people upon the earth, all right, where he's renowned and everything. But now the reason why he can reveal it to everyone else is that everyone, whether or not, you know, it's more or less the Babylonian doctrine of bringing forth all nations come together, everyone being equal. No one, if you think about it with BLM, people are trying to be equal with Esau, all right? So basically it's like that whole purpose before where Esau wanted to establish himself as the superior race and all that type of stuff, it's been done, the work's been done. So now he can present, it's favorable for him to present, okay, UFOs and everything, but more so because he knows his time is short. Revelation 12:12. But then it works to the prophecy that's in the book, that basically now everyone will come together underneath him, all right? And they'll basically deem it like, okay, it's us against them. We don't know who they are. Because even there was another clip I saw on Jason A, a guy called Suffolk Knapp or something, Jim Knapp or something like that, and he was saying, these are angels, evil angels. And it's like, wait, hold on, how do you know they're evil angels? Because he was quoting Ezekiel, the first chapter. They weren't talking about no evil angels. When you read the Bible, it don't mention no evil angels. It never spoke of that. But they understand now that, look, you know, our time is short. To avoid us being revealed as we're being revealed and everyone's kind of pointing the finger saying, wait, you fucked up the world and this, that and the other, we have to, you know, flip it so everyone comes in underneath us.
A bigger enemy.
There's a bigger enemy than me. And he basically, that's what he's doing. He's subverting the people for a greater agenda. But, hey, any of you though, join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. You're basically that's why when people hear people say about, yeah, we're fucking up the environment. No. Esau's fucking up the environment, all right? He's the one that's done all this mess upon the earth. He gave you no other way to, you can't go out there and buy a car that runs on free energy, all right, where it don't have no form of disruption to the atmosphere. Esau's made it as to where the only way you can basically do your thing in this place is you have to use some form of, you know, disruptive, you know, something that destroys the environment. So Esau's basically, you know, had the guys that he's got everyone to come underneath him, and he's trying to like subvert and run away from his judgment. All right?
You got anything?
No.
Psalm 64 and 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them
So
shall flee away.
You could start from 3, I think.
Yeah, no, I was just getting to the point.
Okay,
I'm going to jump back
cool.
to thingy. So it's just about the tongue. Because, yeah, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Yeah, Esau's own tongue is fallen on himself. Because now all the that's the thing is, even with him coming out and saying like, oh, the UFOs exist, it's yet more evidence that this guy is a liar, man. And that's the thing is people in this system, they're just indoctrinated. They're down with the system. They don't care what, you know, what cost or what anything. They just want this place to continue. But then, so that's why it's, for them, they're like their judgment's set, man. They're gonna burn with this system, this place, man. But then it's what? It's more evidence then to prove, hey, look, this guy is the devil, man. This guy is the deceiver, and that's the role he's always played.
I've got to say,
Okay.
it's the book of Revelations 20, and I'm going to start from verse 1. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand, and he laid hold on that dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay? So this is talking about Esau. Esau is known as that old serpent because what is that? The serpent goes back to the garden. The old dragon also goes to the draconian rulership. Speaking of the Romans and whatnot, all right. He's a devil. He's Satan, which is devil and Satan and bound him 1,000 years. That was during the time of the Dark Ages, all right, where basically Jake had rule over this earth, all right. And that was even a period where you could see Jake ruling without knowledge, some form of knowledge of what they are, but they didn't do no good upon earth. What did they do? All right. The best thing that came out of that period that we did, all right, our people, was King James sitting on the throne in England and producing this book. That was the best thing that came out of that generation. All right. But during that period, Esau basically got a base to a low he's never been to before. All right. Just read the book of Job, the 30th chapter. But it says, verse 3, and cast him into a bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, they should deceive the nations no more. All right, because back then, even going back to the Greeks and Romans, he was pushing a heavy deception upon them. All right, till the fact, because why? He was known as it was known as a Greco-Roman Empire, but they're the Edomites. All right, so it says till the thousand years should be fulfilled, and after that, he must be loosed a little season, and we're in that little season right now. This is the season for his rulership. All right, let me just read this as well. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, and the 1st verse. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So I'm going to jump down to verse 8. So it says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. All right, and that's the time presently. There ain't peace upon the earth, so what time are we in? We're in a time of war. Because as it tells you in the book of Proverbs 16:4, the Heavenly Father made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the time of evil. That's why Esau's been loose. This is the time of the wicked. And ultimately to fulfill prophecy that he set before, the testimony of Yahushua and the spirit prophecy, all right, being that going to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, basically speaking of Esau being the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning of it that followeth. So these words have to come to fruition, and they're coming to fruition at this point in time. And that's the only reason why Esau has dominion upon this earth. It's to fulfill the words that the Heavenly Father has established. All right? So that just tells you this time we're in, it's only going to get worse. All right? And I was meditating on this as well because in the first, I can't remember where it's I believe it's Deuteronomy. But basically, the Lord said unto Moses, who was speaking unto the children, our forefathers, and basically said, like, look, remember, I didn't bring you into the land of Israel for your sakes. I brought you into this land because their iniquity is fulfilled, basically. All right? So the Lord had a measure back then, and he's got a measure back and a measure now, all right? Where when they hit that threshold, then it's a wrap. So as you see everything for the past day upon day, month upon month, like week on week, month on month, year on year, season on season, you see it's been getting worse. And guess what? It's going to keep getting worse until we get to that measure, all right, where the Lord has set for Esau to be determined to go down. But guess what? The beautiful thing about that is we're in a time of the end. We can see that presently the way things are going, it's the end. There ain't nothing left. Jerusalem, all right, they're warring over there right now. You got bombs going back and forth. And that's prophecy being fulfilled where, and I was meditating on it, Revelations, the 7th chapter. It said the angels were holding back the destruction, all right? So this destruction is ready to come. It's not a matter of when and, if it's ever gonna, no, it's ready to come. But the elect, once the elect are sealed and every prophecy that has to be outlined, the Neuralink's coming in the end of this year, we're more or less out of here, man. And World War III is on the precipice. It's more or less like what's that word I'm looking for? It's like a combination, like the word I'm looking for, man. But it's like a back-to-back motion. It's like the moment the chip lands, World War III is just ready to go get set loose.
Effect.
Yeah, domino effect. It's kind of like, but it's like The
There's
chip
a war
comes,
now.
it's just the war's gonna come. Because the war's been pulled back for how many years now? You keep seeing these little skirmishes going on.
Okay. I don't know. There was something I was gonna get. Okay. Read this. Second Ezra 13 and start from verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And when, well, yeah, it says, oh, actually, no. Okay, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard it. His voice like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Yeah, that's like what the brother was talking about earlier about how everyone's that one world doctrine, bringing everyone together. Now they're preparing. They've been preparing to basically have Yahushua painted as the villain that's gonna bind everyone together, and that's something they push with, like Thanos in the Marvel films, like they've pushed it from going way back, man, to Independence Day. In that it was just like, okay, everyone banded together under America because the aliens came and just blew everything up. That's the same, and the Americans were just so great, they were able to to destroy them. But that's the same narrative Esau's been building in the minds of the people for the longest, and now it's been revealed. Oh, okay, yeah, oh, are they going to be hostile? Blah 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 blah. Because why? Because now it's become evident and clear. It's in the end game, where
The judgment is close.
yeah, and he's like, well, it's a prophecy. Everyone's going to band together. Why? To war against Yahushua. But then what's the result? It says, "But behold, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. And I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So the chariot was so immense, you couldn't even see where it ended, man. It was consuming the whole sky. And that's what Esau's gonna attempt to come against. And that's the thing. This isn't gonna be a movie. This isn't gonna be CGI. They're gonna be the director, writer, and producer. Ain't gonna be a bunch of Edomites. It's gonna be Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And then we're gonna play out the role. Esau's had his role set.
Yeah, your funny camera angles ain't gonna work, man. I think I was saying it to you watching like Batman, and you see Anne Hathaway, that heathen, man. She ain't. Well, actually, I was talking to a couple brothers about it. She ain't got no form of no kind of like athleticism in her. All right. But then basically the way the camera angles work and all that type of stuff, it makes her look like she's got some form of domineering stance among the people. And the reality is no. That was just camera angles and, stunt people.
It's what do they call it? Like film techniques, man. That's how Esau knows. That's the thing is Esau can make a fucking 7-year-old look like they're uppercutting, grown men.
Mm-hmm.
Cause and like that's being pulled off. But that's all BS. Because it's in reality. Look, it's funny, like the male and female strength dynamic. Like it's so just not even a competition. The fact that what's her name, the Serena Williams, dominating for fucking ages in women's tennis, plays against like an anything man, and then she dust like he's like ranked 220 something, and she gets dust.
Drake
like,
said he beat her with his left hand. Drake.
Yeah.
Drizzy.
But that's the difference
Drake.
is just there's no competition, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like when they start accepting what do you call it, trans into female sports, there's no hope. You can just have any guy. This guy's a nobody. He just says, "Oh, I'm a woman," and puts on a dress and then goes and beats the shit out of women in the MMA ring, and he's collecting every title that exists. Same for in track and field events, because there's no competition in reality. A scrawny dude is gonna outdo even an athletic woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. But then that's the same thing with
Prophecy being
with
fulfilled.
even Esau being presented as some kind of suave, enticing, flavorsome male. You got Jakes, like the brother mentioned earlier. Just cause there's white skin, that don't mean they're just an Edomite. You got Israelites that look like so-called white men, but they're Jakes. Their heritage, their lineage goes back, and that's what you have them on a screen, where all the simple are seen is Esau's image, and the guy's moving with some flavor, like Sean Connery, Leonardo DiCaprio. You got basically Jakes in white flesh,
Matthew McConaughey,
going out there and moving with swag, with flavor. So then that's the thing is that then overlays on all Esau, and that's the thing, because that's why with his dominance, it's you go back, because back in the time of slavery, Jake had the spirit put on them where they were done, but that's been taken off. I'll get that as well. You got something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember it was Utopia I was watching. The girls all badding up everyone, beating everyone up. Then I saw her jump over like a wall, like that was like chest high. I said, the way she climbed, I said, you're not athletic at all, man. Like, you could just tell. It's like if you were like doing what you're doing, the way you would have cleared that wall, it wouldn't be it's like, when you saw the hole in the act, it's like, wait, you really ain't built like that. So Esau, the point being with all of that is that when the Lord comes, there ain't no hiding. There ain't no camera techniques.
It's gonna come down to reality.
All right, it's gonna be like you against him.
I got what I was looking for.
Okay, go on then.
Is yours on the point? Or?
I was gonna go into women, and I was gonna go to the chariots.
Okay. Let me do this. So
the women thing was a side note anyway.
2 Timothy 1:6. It says, "Wherefore I put thee in remembrance, that thou stir up the gift of the Most High, which is in thee, by putting on of my hands. For the Most High have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Yeah, so we've that spirit of fear has been taken off, and now we're in a sound mind. Because even when you're in the spirit of the world, when you're in the spirit of the world, you're basically looking at Esau like he's there's some form of greatness to him. He's he's someone to fear, someone of esteem. But then in reality, when you're looking round, these Edomites are men of no account, man. They ain't really like who's really mighty on that level.
They play into that. If you give that to them, they'll play into it. It's just like a nigga from the ends, man. If you give him that, if you feed into that name that he has, I hate to go to like such a base kind of level, but it's just like if there's someone in your area, they have a name. That's how Jake, all around the world, they thrive off that. They'll be able to manipulate people around them because they did one thing back in '96 and everyone's scared of them because that one thing they did. And they probably didn't even do it. They just took the credit. And that's the same thing Esau's been doing. They learned that from Esau, all right? Their father, the devil, all right? Because Esau does that. He stakes a claim to something that is like a white lie that was even a white lie that was told years ago, and he just built upon it, and he just lives up to the walks in those shoes, so to speak. I just wanted to read this on the woman thing and then go into that. So this is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?" All right, and even right now, dealing with Jake women, again, Esau's been loose for a season. I read in Revelation 20, but then also it brought her back what? The serpent in the garden and Eve. They're back together now, and they're doing their foolishness in this kingdom right now. That's why Kevin Samuels, man, you check out his channel, you hear the tomfoolery these women say is basically just exposing that they're under Esau's spirit, all right? So this is why I'm saying this. How long will thou go about, oh, thou backsliding daughter? But basically, she's going to keep going about because it says, she my enemy.
Shall see her and shame shall cover her.
Yeah, and
she does my enemy.
Yeah.
I'll read that after.
So it says, for the Lord have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. So that's basically what it is. A woman has gone around a man, basically. So that's why they're esteemed in the light that they are, and they can do the things they're doing. All right, and even Esau, again, going to the serpent, he's played into that. He's exalted them highly to have them as his guard dog. They know that, look, this man, he gives me everything I need. So, you know what? I'm going to do whatever he asks me for. Because he understands that his main opposition is Jake man. Yeah, I'm done on that.
Let me just get it. Micah 7:10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which have said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Yeah, it says she that is mine enemy. So that's how you know the dynamic has been set up. Because you go back to the curses, said what? You know, the woman that's tender and delicate, that all that tender and delicacy is going to be erased. And that's why what? Go to like, what Job, was it 39, I believe? You know, how there's one in Job, and
Deuteronomy as well.
yeah, and I think there's one in Lamentations as well.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Like even the you know, the dragons, the ostriches. Well, I think the dragons give suck onto their young,
They're young.
and it's like even that's that coldness. That's why it's them curses. You know, she's fully, but the woman has fully become the enemy. The Jake woman has become the enemy, man. She's with Esau, and that's like the brother said, that relationship goes back. But it says what? Shame shall cover her, and she'll be trodden down as a mire of the streets. That's the thing is with women, the lie that's been presented by the society is what? Is that women are somehow able to just survive on their own and just go out and live life, and it's all going to be great, which presently that can be accomplished. Esau's allowed that to happen, which is why it's a new thing. Esau's putting women in them positions of authority, and like you see these black women all up in the bureaucratic system. So they work in the councils, they work in government, they work in those positions, and then that allows them to you know, dangle power over men, dangle a position of authority over men.
Because the men have been moved to a inferior position within the realm, mainly Jake men.
Yeah, and well, this goes back as well to what the Willie Lynch letter. Basically, the emasculation of the Israelite man, which those things, the impacts are still being felt. Them, you know, men that are being raised in these single mother households, they're just completely out of course. They're completely lost, man. Unless you wake up to the truth, then you're done, man. It's a wrap. But it says what? All that period of time, it's gonna come down. It's gonna get real when what? When shit goes down. Because let me get this. Isaiah 32 and 2, and it says what? And a man shall be as a hiding place, as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Yeah, the man's gonna be that hiding from the wind, because right now Esau is allowing. He's the one that's put the covering over the women to allow them to do things. 'Cause that's the thing. Like I said, physically, women can't do anything. But it's what? The backup of the police, the court system, all the monetary system, all these different things, the workplaces. That's allowed women to have that new thing. But once that's all crumbles, then what? That's why you go to any place where you've had the government just destroyed. Women are just out there. It's like women and children. They've got no agency as far as being able to control their own situation. It comes down to what the men with power around them are doing. That's why you still have women in like Nigeria, women getting grabbed up, or girls getting grabbed up by all form of people, man. All kinds of, like, the reality exists on the earth, but for now it's like with everything else. Esau controls that narrative. Because if you'll be shocked, man. It's like where I work, there's a lot of women. It's like some physically intensive tasks that I just do without even a consideration to it. These things for them are a strain. So then that's why it becomes evident that we men and women have two different orders and structures, man. The orders is in the New Testament. It says what? The Most High, Yahweh Shai, the man and the woman. That's the order that's been set. The man's in charge, the woman's underneath. She's the helpmate. But that's all been thrown out. And then what? It says let everything be done decently in order. So when an order is not acknowledged, then you have chaos, you have wickedness, man. And that's women are multiplying that wickedness out here to a high degree. This is in was it Second Ezra 6? Like many men have gone out of their wits for women, and that's the thing as well. Men are completely losing their minds, man. The fact OnlyFans exists as a thing, and women are getting they're able to make millions of pounds in a matter of hours, you know, through men just throwing money at them. That just shows everything's done. This place is a wrap, man. And the elites know. They're basically a lot of this shit. The tap's just been on. It's been leaking out, man. The complete and total madness. But what? It's reality's gonna come back. You got anything? I wanted to get Isaiah 30. We can go into the chariots after, but let me get Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13 and 2. Well, I'll start from 1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Yeah, burden of Babylon, man. That's why it's the what's going to be delivered onto Babylon. It's the new Babylon, like we went into earlier, the daughter of Babylon. It says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, and I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Yeah, the weapons of his indignation. Going to Isaiah 54:16, says about the smith that bloweth the coals on the fire, creating what? That nuclear missile. That's the weapon, man. That glittering sword, which is gonna be used by the Lord to destroy America, man. Because America is the main signal booster of all these completely backwards ideas and mindsets. Because everything you've got going out, everything that's been thrown out of course, really it's intensified from like the 60s. Esau just throwing the family structure out of course, the monetary system just going out the window, and just completely magnifying like the monetary difference between the guys at the top and the guys on the bottom. The middle class being obliterated, all these different things are why? Because these elites, they're basically trying to centralize all power under them and then just have everyone else on a slave level, man. And that's why whenever you go into these, like the brother mentioned a show, but all these post-apocalyptic futures, when you go into them, it's by and large, you've got huge wealth gaps. It allows the guys at the very top to exercise ultimate power, and these are the things that are desired. So this is what
and you see that in history when you go to Egypt, when you read in the book of Genesis dealing with Joseph. Basically, how did Pharaoh leverage his power? It was through the fact that he had the foresight to know that there'll be a time where there'll be 7 years of plenty, so everyone would be up. And usually it's like after 1, 2, 3, after a period of time, people are gonna feel a sense of comfort that they have. That's why it says in the book of Ezra, victuals shall be good cheap on the earth, that they shall think they're in good estate. So people get lulled into a sense of security that, you know what, there's a consistency in receiving this, you know, it's going good. So, and even you have the other parable with the man that reaped a great return in the gospel, all right? And he said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna have to tear down this storehouse and then build up a new one to put all my benefits in. Then I'll sit down and drink a lot of wine and enjoy myself. But then the Lord said, like, he didn't know that the Lord required his spirit to come back the next day, all right? But the point being, going back to the point, people have a sense of security. So that's why Pharaoh had the one up, because he got told, save a fifth, and they just put it aside. Then when everything went down, slowly but surely, when those people's corn failed and then their things failed, ultimately they wind up giving everything to Pharaoh, saying, look, take it all. We said that and then they had to work their same lands, but living in an appointed city, and they were in slavery. All right, and that's the same thing that's going on right now.
Verse 6, how ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, it shall come as destruction from the Almighty. Yes, that's the other thing, this is appointed from heaven, man, appointed by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's what's lost on people in the world. They're right now thinking that Esau is the master of he's master of the whole earth. Everything is under his command. Don't worry, but that's not been the truth ever at any point. It was appointed. Can you grab Daniel 2:44? Daniel 2:44. I think so. The living man. Oh no. No, it's not. I think Daniel 5.
7.
What the,
That
the
the
point that the
living
living may
may
know
know
that the
that
Most
the
High
Most
rules
High
in the
ruleth in
kingdom
the
of
kingdom of
man.
man.
Because I think it's when he's talking to the thing. I think it might be.
It might be right actually, 2 and 45 or something like that.
Because that's he set up. No, that's set up one and thingy for
Yeah.
another. Okay. Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man. Actually, maybe it is that. Oh, okay. Let me just search. Okay, 4. Daniel
4 and something.
4. 17, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Daniel's 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men.
Yeah, because that was against, I believe, Nebuchadnezzar. Because that guy was completely losing his mind with thinking that he was actually thinking it was the Most High, because he's been set up, man. Because of the level of power he's able to exercise, and it's now the same thing. That's the same thing that happens with all these rulers, man. Their hearts get enlarged, man. These guys get feed into the power that they're given so hard. They actually think that they're unstoppable, man. They think, yo, the man of God's on the earth. Funny, I was watching a video just before I came out. I was talking about Alonzo from, Denzel from Training Day, and how this guy was basically thinking of an untouchable God in LA, man. I was just like, you know what? Imagine on that small scale, even though obviously it's a movie, but you get guys like drug dealers, crooked cops, all these kinds of guys